I unexpectedly discovered my husband was cheating, and he'd even booked a room at a hotel. Just as I was about to livestream the expose, I realized his lover was none other than my own mother. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. Chloe, are you saying Daniel cheated on me? How is that possible? Are you sure you're not mistaken? I was shocked by the call from my best friend, Chloe. I just couldn't reconcile my husband, Daniel, with the idea of infidelity. It's true, Sarah. I just saw it with my own eyes. He was with his lover at the mall, shopping. Immediately, Chloe sent me a photo. I opened it. The man in the picture indeed resembled my husband, Daniel. He was even wearing the khaki coat I'd given him this morning. The woman next to him, however, felt strangely familiar. But no matter how hard I thought, I couldn't place anyone like her in my social circle. Chloe, follow them quickly, send me your location, and I'll be right there. Be careful not to let them see you. I changed quickly, ran downstairs, hailed a taxi, and headed straight for the mall. How's it going? Are you almost here? I just saw your husband kiss his lover. Almost there. I'm practically there. I got out of the taxi and darted into the mall. Only when I spotted Chloe did I finally dare to catch my breath. Look, they're over there. We sat in a coffee shop, and my best friend pointed to the bakery across the way. Even through 2 panes of glass, I recognized the man instantly. It was indeed my husband, Daniel. The woman next to him wore long fake eyelashes, heavy makeup, bright red lipstick, and garish Barbie pink stilettos. Seriously? He cheats, and with someone like that? His taste has truly plummeted off a cliff. Sarah, she looks so old. What kind of taste does that jerk have? I can see the wrinkles on her face from here. She's probably old enough to be your mother. Chloe took a sip of her coffee and continued to rant. Do you think he's trying to get under your skin by picking an older lover? I don't think so. They seem genuinely smitten, even sweeter than when Daniel and I were dating. Watching them act so lovey-dovey, my heart burned with rage. I wanted nothing more than to rush over and scratch that old hussy's face off. But I knew I couldn't let them off that easily. Chloe, what can we do to ruin them both? How about you try posting about it on social media? Following suggestion, I pulled out my phone, took a flurry of photos, drafted some text, and posted it on social media. Before long, the post garnered a lot of views. Many fellow users sympathized with my situation, sharing their own past experiences and methods of revenge in the comments. Many also tried to comfort me, telling me not to be sad, and not to hurt myself over someone unworthy. However, quite a few accused me of staging it for publicity. Of course, a man means nothing. No matter how much I loved him before, from this moment on, he was nothing to me. God, your husband booked room 823 at the hotel for tonight. Get ready. I just pretended to be his girlfriend, saying I wanted to decorate the room for a surprise, and got a key card from the front desk. Thank you, Chloe. After this is done, I'm going to make that jerk leave with nothing. We'll split his assets. Chloe and I had been staking out the hotel for a while. As night fell, we watched them walk upstairs, arm in arm. I was about to quietly follow them when Chloe suddenly pulled me back. Wait, not yet. It'll be much more dramatic if we go in when things are really heating up. Then she started a live stream, titled Live, Cheating, Husband is Exposed. In no time, countless users were drawn in by the title, and the live stream was flooded with people. What are we waiting for? Go expose them. We're dying to see it. I bet they're staging this to trick us into sending virtual gifts. I've seen plenty of scammers like this. This woman is pretty good looking. Her husband still cheated on her? The fellow user above probably didn't see the blogger's post with the lover's photo yesterday. TSK, it's truly a sight to behold. The live chat scrolled wildly, and users were getting anxious. We watched from downstairs as the mood lighting in the room upstairs kept changing. Chloe patted my shoulder and said the time was right. We pretended to be ordinary guests who had already booked a room, walked into the hotel, and approached Daniel and his lover's door. Chloe excitedly addressed the livestream audience. Folks, this is it. Are you ready to witness this moment with us? Let's count down. 3, 2, 1. Smash that subscribe button. Oh no. Open the door. Beep. The door clicked open. 2 naked figures were tangled on the bed in a bizarre way. The 4 of us stared at each other. They quickly scrambled to get dressed, desperate to save face. I wasn't surprised to see Daniel, but when I clearly saw the woman next to him, I was utterly shocked. Mom, I cried out, my heart sinking. This would probably be the last time I ever called her that. The live stream immediately erupted into a frenzy. Users' minds were racing, and the live chat was buzzing with heated discussions. What? Am I understanding this correctly? The old lover is the blogger's mother? A husband cheating with his mother-in-law? This scandal is absolutely explosive. This is clearly staged. When does something like this happen in real life? They're just scammers looking for attention, don't believe them. But soon, the live stream was shut down due to inappropriate content. At the same time, the hashtag my husband cheated with my mom went viral and trended at the top. What's going on, Sarah? What did you call her? Mom? Is she your real mother? I didn't speak, just nodded silently. No way? Your mom stole your husband? Or your husband slept with your mom? No matter who was interested in whom first, once this is over, I'm cutting ties completely. My heart felt as hard as steel. Sarah, listen to me, it's not what it looks like. Daniel was the first to speak. Explain what? There's nothing to explain. We're together, so what? My mother said, completely unapologetic. Chloe, beside me, looked utterly incredulous, her gaze sweeping over the three of us with a shocked expression. You. Are you Sarah's real mom? How can a mother be like this, stealing her own daughter's man? Aren't you disgusting? She pointed an accusing finger at my mother, then at Daniel. And you, how disgraceful. Sleeping with your own mother-in-law? Have you no shame? Chloe continued to vent her anger. I, who had been silent for too long, finally spoke. She is not my biological mother. And she doesn't deserve to be my mother. 12 years ago, my father died saving her. She went to catch fish in the river because she was being cheap, complaining the supermarket's fish was too expensive. She accidentally fell into a deep part of the river. In that critical moment, my father jumped in to save her. But because he didn't have time to warm up, his leg cramped, and he left his life in that river forever. My biological mother died during childbirth, and my father remarried. I had always regarded her as my own mother. I had called her mom for 25 years. But in the end, she ruined my father and stole my man. Why don't you go find your real mother? You ill-bred thing. Your mother clearly wasn't any good either, she said, her face full of disdain. Don't you dare talk about my mother. The moment I heard her speak of my mother, I finally lost control of my emotions. I lunged forward and grabbed her by the collar. Try saying one more word about my mother. You young woman, let go of me. You're the reason I lost my father. What do you mean I ruined him? He drowned himself. What does that have to do with me? Your father's drowning was just an accident. Would he have died if it weren't for saving you? Then call the police. Have them arrest me. Go on. She extended her clasped hands towards me. I slapped her across the face with the back of my hand. Why? My father falling for you wasn't enough, and now my man has fallen for you too. What kind of spell did you cast on them? She'd been slapped, and a red handprint instantly appeared on her face. She clutched her cheek, seething with indignation. If you can't keep your man, that's your own incompetence. If your mother couldn't keep her man, that was her incompetence too. You two women. Before she could finish, I slapped her again. Sarah, she's still your stepmother. Don't you understand respect for elders and care for the young? Daniel spoke up, defending his mother-in-law, or rather, his wife now, I suppose. Stepmother? Does she even deserve that title? Do you know why my father never had children with you all these years? Because he thought you weren't worthy of his child. You're lying. Your father loved me so much, how could he not want children with me? Oh? If he were still alive, would you have been willing to have children with him? Of course, I would. I said nothing, just smiled as I looked at the two of them. Chloe, who had been watching the drama unfold, couldn't stop smiling. Daniel, I didn't mean it like that, please listen to my explanation, Daniel. But completely ignored her pleas and walked straight out the door. That old woman glared at me fiercely, then rushed off to chase her young lover. Chloe and I exchanged a knowing smile. Just you wait. The best is yet to come. I had recorded the entire argument at the hotel and then uploaded it online. The internet instantly erupted in a huge uproar. That old woman is utterly shameless. She caused someone's father's death and then stole her husband. The blogger's father shouldn't have saved her, he should have just let her drown. Exactly, a woman like that deserves to drown. Cheating everywhere, who knows how many men she's shacked up with. Someone like that doesn't deserve to be a mother. She should just die. Am I the only one who thinks the blogger is being incredibly rude? To the person above, if your partner was stolen, would you be polite to the lover? I scrolled through these online comments, preparing to implement my next plan. I was determined to ruin both of their reputations. During this time, Daniel and that old woman didn't dare come home. Who knows where they were shacked up? Their absence was perfect. I finally had some peace and quiet. This house was my biological mother's premarital property. After her death, it was passed on to me. For all these years, my father and that old woman lived here, and I always felt it was bad luck, along with Daniel. That old woman was constantly trying to claim this house for herself. I would take back everything that was rightfully mine. I opened the safe, where my mother had left me some assets before she died. She had prepared for this long ago. She had always been frail, and knowing she might not survive, she wrote a will before giving birth. If the child was born safely, all assets were to be transferred to the child. If the child died young, the assets were to be placed in the child's coffin to bless them with a good life in the next. And then she wished for my father to remarry. She gave her will to her best friend, leaving my father no opportunity to tamper with it. My father did remarry later. I packed up their belongings. After all these years living in my house, it was time for them to get out. I called Daniel. When he answered, I could even hear muffled sounds of heavy breathing beside him. You have 10 minutes to get over here, or I'm throwing all your stuff in the trash. Crazy woman. I ignored his insults, hung up, and started a timer on my phone. 10 minutes passed, but there was still no sign of them. I grabbed the bags, intending to throw them downstairs, and at the staircase, I ran right into the two of them, panting. You crazy woman. What do you think you're doing? Daniel glared at me furiously. What do I want to do? Naturally, clean out some unwanted trash. Give me back my things. Sorry, but I don't have any of your things here. These are all garbage, and garbage belongs in the trash, wouldn't you agree? I curled my lips into a sneer, looking at them contemptuously. I allowed Daniel to snatch the 2 bags of clothes from my hands. I walked straight back to the house, opened the remaining bags, and dumped them from upstairs. My house is on the 2nd floor, and there were no passers-by below, so I didn't have to worry about anything falling on anyone. Clothes were scattered all over the ground, including both their underwear and some intimate toys. Are you insane? What are you doing? Daniel and that old woman, who had just caught up, looked at me in utter disbelief. Even if I'm crazy, you two drove me to it. Hearing the commotion, many neighbors poked their heads out to watch the spectacle. Oh, what's going on here? Haven't you heard? That girl's mother stole her man. What? Really? How could such a thing happen? That mother is utterly shameless. No way, it's fake. I saw the live stream with my own eyes. The son-in-law and mother-in-law were tangled up together. TSK, that girl is truly pitiable with a mother and husband like that. The neighbors chattered, occasionally pointing fingers at the two of them with expressions of disdain. If your father hadn't died so early, without leaving me a single child, would I be like this? That old woman roared, and her yell startled the onlookers. All these years, your useless womb hasn't produced a single child. With you, my family is doomed to have no heir. Daniel was equally unyielding, spewing insults. Do both your families have an empire to build? If so, you're certainly a perfect match. Want children? Maybe you should consider if you're even worthy. You two are so utterly shameless together. Honestly, I respect it, I wish you well, and I hope you're stuck together forever. It saves people like you, who are trash, from circulating and harming others. I unleashed a tirade on them, and after, I felt incredibly relieved. They opened their mouths to say something else, but I had verbally shut them down so completely that they couldn't utter a word. In a word, satisfying. This is my home. You two have lived here for so many years, I'm being generous by not charging you rent. Now, get out. You young woman, how dare you speak like that? When did this become your home? I've lived here for so many years, this house should be mine, no matter what you say. She still thought this was my father's property. When my father passed away, a portion of his assets should have been mine, but this woman took it all. Then take a close look at whose name is on the property deed. So what if it's yours? I've lived here for years, you can't make me move out. She hadn't been home for so many years, wasn't she just eyeing my house? Well, in that case, I'll have to sue you for illegal occupation of private property. Do you want to move out quietly, or do you want to deal with a lawsuit first? You're so heartless. I raised you for so many years, you ingrate. You raised me? You raised me by making me do your laundry and cook for you every day? What arrogance. At that moment, Daniel, who had been silent for a long time, finally spoke. You called her mom for over 20 years. Now your mother is pregnant, and you want to leave her homeless? How did I never notice what a vicious woman you are before? I was still somewhat shocked to hear that old woman was pregnant. It's not my child she's carrying, so what does it have to do with me? What, are you incapable of giving her a home? Or are you trying to abandon her now that she's pregnant? You. That's not what I meant. She's carrying my child, of course I'll take responsibility for her. Oh, well, in that case, then get out of here. I'll make it easy for both of you. That old woman grew even more furious when she heard I was kicking her out, and she began calling out to the surrounding neighbors. Everyone, come look. I'm an old woman, and the daughter I raised for over 20 years is now throwing me out. And I'm pregnant. How am I supposed to live? The neighbors all cast mocking glances. That old hag really has some nerve. Stealing her own daughter's man, and getting pregnant, then still shamelessly trying to cling to someone else's house. If it were me, I'd just bash my head in. I couldn't live with the shame. Exactly, she always seemed so petty. I could tell she wasn't a good person from the start. And look, I was right. Her husband died because of her all those years ago, and now she's trying to ruin her daughter's life again. She's a menace. That old woman, hearing their curses, finally snapped. How dare you criticize me? I was with that old man for so many years and never got pregnant. He was the one who couldn't perform, and now you're blaming me? I think none of you are good people either. Besides, Daniel and I are truly in love. It seems to me the unloved one is the real side piece, wouldn't you say? The old man from the building across the street instantly flared up in anger. You shameless old hussy, trying to turn the tables. We're all on Sarah's side here. Go on, call the police. Let them sort this out. You're the hussy. We're clearly deeply in love and soulmates. That young man and Sarah are legally married. What do you have? An illegitimate child. Say that again? I'll rip your mouth off. I almost forgot, I still need to finalize the divorce. Get your paperwork ready. We'll finalize the divorce tomorrow. I said to Daniel, thoroughly annoyed. Sarah, can't we just not get a divorce? Not divorce? Weren't you complaining I couldn't give you children? Now someone's having one for you. Why don't you go live happily ever after with her? But, you're st. mother and I don't have a house. If you kick us out like this, and she's pregnant, where will she go? Oh, really? And how is that my problem? Sarah, you can't be so heartless. Who's heartless? Me? You cheated on me behind my back, and you're calling me heartless? Anyway, I've said my piece. Both of you, get out of here. Once the divorce is finalized, we'll have nothing more to do with each other. I pushed them both out of the house and slammed the door shut. I ignored their relentless knocking and shouting from outside. Daniel stubbornly refused to divorce me, clinging on, so I had no choice but to sue him. The court not only granted the divorce but also ordered the offending party to compensate the innocent party. When I posted this news online, users universally praised it as immensely satisfying. Fellow users, her heart isn't hard enough. A man like that should be forced to leave with nothing. Fellow users, she's amazing. My husband also has a lover outside, and I'm ready to divorce him too. I'm done enduring it. Those two will get their comeuppance sooner or later. I thought the matter would simply blow over. But I never expected those two shameless people to come and cause a commotion under my house every day. That old woman even claimed I was her daughter, saying I kicked her out while she was pregnant, and that her son-in-law was also thrown out for defending her. Uninformed people criticized me for being unfilial, and praised the son-in-law for being upright, pitying him for marrying such a wife. Within a few days, they gathered a group of righteous citizens to protest against me downstairs from my house. You ungrateful wretch, get out here. Exactly, throwing your pregnant old mother out on the street. What kind of behavior is that? I stood by the window, watching them brandish their sticks and shovels menacingly, finding it quite amusing. My father has been dead for over 10 years. How do you think she got pregnant? Everyone was stunned by my question, quickly turning their heads to look at that old woman. Doris, what's going on here? Oh, don't listen to this young girl's nonsense. There's no such thing. Just as everyone was still confused, I spoke up again. Tell me, when this child is born, should I call him my brother or sister, or my son or daughter? After all, it's my husband's and my mother's illegitimate child. Everyone suddenly understood, as if they'd heard something unbelievable, their eyes wide with shock as they stared at that old woman. You scoundrel, Doris. So you were the one who seduced your daughter's man. And here you are, crying wolf, almost making us slander that girl's reputation. I'm going to kill you today. Doris was terrified and grabbed Daniel, running off. Everyone was furious, grabbing whatever they had and chasing after them. Suddenly, the two stopped running, standing still. We heard that old woman say, if we're talking about who was first, she's the one who stole my man. She's the real lover. Everyone, shocked, turned their gaze towards me. What do you mean, Doris? Daniel and I are legally married. It's just a marriage certificate, isn't it? Anyway, you're divorced now. Daniel and I will just go get one. Daniel and I have been together for ages, much longer than you've known him. Explain yourself. What's going on? What? Surprised? Daniel and I were already a couple. You were the lover, and an unloved one at that. Under the bewildered gazes of the crowd, Doris recounted the whole truth. Did you really think you could marry such a good man like Daniel on your own? I secretly arranged for you two to meet. All those coincidences you thought were fate? I planned them all. It was so you'd marry Daniel and he'd move into your house, then I could see Daniel every day, and we'd be a family, ha ha ha. Then why didn't you marry him yourself? Do you think I'm stupid? Neither of us had a house. If I married him, where would I live? Besides, I wanted you and Daniel to have a son for me to raise, but who knew your womb wouldn't produce a single child? I had to do it myself. Everyone was enraged, grabbing sticks and rushing to hit them, scaring Doris and Daniel into running off. After a month, Doris and Daniel not only got married but also started a live stream. I stumbled upon their live stream by chance. Some unsuspecting users were tricked by them. Folks, please help me. My husband and I love each other dearly, but my deceased ex-husband's daughter became infatuated with my husband and tried to steal him. When my husband refused, she kicked us both out of our home. Oh, heavens, what sin have I committed? As she spoke, she didn't forget to show off her marriage certificate and a photo of the dingy rented room they lived in, all to add credibility. Users were indignant, flooding the live chat with comments. How could she raise such an ungrateful wretch? Bah! So shameless! Exactly, even trying to steal her own stepfather. I've never seen such a shameless woman. Yes, in ancient times, she would have been publicly shamed and ostracized for this. Women like this deserve to die. It saves them from ruining other men's lives. I read their comments, not angry, just amused. The truths and falsehoods behind the online world are always elusive. My account was also flooded with people attacking me. Even users who once believed in and supported me were now calling for my head. Some people are like weeds on a wall, changing direction with every gust of wind. I quietly picked up my phone and compiled text and images, outlining the events between us in chronological order. My mother passed away at my birth, leaving me a house and some assets. My father remarried. When I was 10, my father drowned while saving my stepmother. My stepmother, taking advantage of my youth and naivety, secretly took all of my father's inheritance. She didn't remarry because she coveted our house, and she continued to live in my home, posing as an elder. She even claimed to be my biological mother to outsiders. Later, she and Daniel became a couple. They both wanted to con me out of my house, so they conspired this whole scheme. However, I knew nothing of this. Daniel and I fell in love and married, and he successfully moved into my house. I thought I had found true love, but I never imagined that they were shacked up behind my back for countless nights. How ironic. I became the other woman who intruded on someone else's marriage and was reviled by everyone. As soon as my post went live, it caused a massive uproar online. When I reopened Doris and Daniel's live stream, Doris was on screen, playing the victim and feigning helplessness. Seeing hundreds of thousands of people flooding into the live stream, she was ecstatic. Oh, folks, I called my daughter today, and she called me an old hag. Tell me, how can an old woman like me be so miserable? She had expected the live chat comments below to be all in her favor, attacking me, but she never imagined that the tide had completely turned. Those users who had once been deceived and kept in the dark were now wide awake, and not a single one let her off the hook. Oh, how truly awful. If I had a daughter like that, I'd just bash my head in. At least it would stop me from coveting my daughter's house. Oh, how did you know my daughter bought me a $20,000 gold bracelet today? Oh, it must be because I didn't steal her man. Oh, I gave my daughter $100,000 for a trip a few days ago, and look, she bought me a beachfront condo. Oh, well, I didn't squat in someone else's house and insist that a child with no blood relation was my own daughter. Doris watched the comments, her face turning green with rage. She furiously closed the live stream and went offline. She didn't know I was still recording her live stream. Sure enough, a moment later, Doris's call came in. You young woman, what are you trying to do? You're not Leah. Ving us any way out, after I raised you for so many years. No way out? No problem. You're not without options, at least you have death. Haha, no one's stopping you. You. Doris was too choked with rage to speak on the other end of the phone, and my live chat was flooded with comments. Girl, you totally slayed that. Can I borrow your savage comeback skills? Girl, I'm here for it. Don't let gender stop you. The last I heard of the two of them was in a news report. Doris accidentally fell and had a miscarriage. On the way to the hospital, Daniel, driving her, caused a car accident due to speeding and violating a series of traffic laws. Fortunately, there were no other casualties besides the two of them. Weren't you two so deeply in love? Well, then, why don't you go be a celestial couple in the underworld? Thank you for watching today's story. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section, so feel free to share your views. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.